Welcome to the Economic Compass. Today we're navigating a landmark event in India's economy, the GST 2.0 reform. Imagine a map that leads you to savings on, everything from your morning coffee to a new television.
Okay.
Well, that map is real, and it goes live on September 22nd, 2025. It's a profound shift, Alex. For years, businesses and consumers have navigated a complex four-lane highway of taxes: 5%, 12%, 18%, and 28%.
Right.
Now, the government has simplified it into a two-lane road. We have a 5% merit rate for essentials and an 18% standard rate for almost everything else. So let's get straight to the point. What does this mean for the average household's budget? The GST 2.0 savings map report we're analyzing says this isn't just loose change. No, we're talking tangible savings of 100 to 400 rupees every single month. That's the headline, and it's significant. For a lower middle-income family, that 100 rupee saving represents a 2% cut in their monthly spending.
Wow.
Yeah, and for an affluent household, the 400 rupee saving is a 2.6% reduction. The biggest drivers are everyday items. Think about your morning routine. Shampoo, toothpaste, soap, all of these are plummeting from an 18% tax rate down to just 5%. A 13-point drop. That's massive for daily goods. But the reform also targets bigger aspirations, right? The things we save up for.
Absolutely. This is where it gets really interesting for festive season shoppers.
Okay.
That television, air conditioner, or even a small car that was in the highest 28% tax bracket is now dropping to the 18% standard rate.
A 10 points cut.
Exactly. That 10-point cut makes those big-ticket dreams significantly more accessible.
This all sounds incredibly positive, but every major reform has its friction points. The report calls them watch-outs.
Right.
So what's the catch, Ben?
Well, the most immediate one for consumers is MRP stickiness. Imagine you're a shop owner. Your shelves are full of products you bought at the old higher tax rate.
Okay, yeah.
You can't just slash the price overnight without taking a loss. So while the tax cut is official on September 22nd, it might take a few weeks for those new, lower prices to fully trickle down as old inventory is sold.
Understanding. It's a transition. But you pointed out a more complex issue, something called the broken credit chain?
Yes.
You said making something tax-free, like health insurance, might not pass on the full saving. Can you break that down for us?
Of course, think of it like a baker. The baker pays tax on their flour and gets a refund for it. That's the input tax credit, or ITC.
Got it.
But if the government suddenly makes bread tax-free, the baker no longer gets that refund on their flour. The flour cost effectively goes up for them.
So for an insurance company, their inputs like advertising or software still have GST, but they can't claim it back anymore because their final product is now exempt.
Right.
So that new cost gets baked into the price.
Exactly. The consumer still saves the bulk of the tax, but a portion is absorbed by this broken credit chain. It's a critical nuance in understanding the real-world impact.
Let's switch gears to the other side of the counter. For retailers and businesses, this is a race against time. The September 22nd deadline is non-negotiable.
Yeah.
What's on their checklist?
First and foremost, it's technology. They have to recode every single item in their billing and point-of-sale systems.
Wow.
And a mistake here could mean charging the wrong tax, leading to customer disputes, hefty penalties. After that, it's the physical task of repricing inventory, managing stock in transit, and for some, completely rethinking their costs due to the ITC changes we just discussed.
I'm impressed. It sounds like a huge operational challenge, but with a massive payoff for the economy.
It is.
Analysts are projecting a 1 to 1.2 percentage point boost to GDP. How does that happen?
It's the power of aggregation. One family saves, say, 130 rupees on a bottle of shampoo. Another saves 4,000 rupees on a new air conditioner.
Right.
You multiply that by tens of millions of households, all happening just as the festive season buying season kicks off.
Okay.
It creates this powerful wave of consumer demand that lifts the entire economy. It's a strategic move to turn household savings into national growth.
A well-timed stimulus wrapped in the language of simplification and consumer relief.
Mm-hmm.
It seems GST 2.0 is set to be a game changer for India's economic landscape.
Now, here's a question we'd like you to think about. While these tax cuts are designed to boost spending, in an uncertain economic world, will households choose to spend their extra savings, or will they save it for a rainy day?
That's the big question.
The answer to that will determine the true scale of this reform's success.